that, the thought of the day, it's me! Yay! So my thought of the day is we're all in this together, right? And I say that the other day I take my daughter, she's 6, we call her Tita. So I always pick her up from school after school. So after we get off work, she's in the after school program. So I always go over there and pick her up. And this last time I go pick her up, I always, when I see her, I always give her a kiss, and then I run, grab her, give her a kiss, and then we leave. So this last time I give her a kiss, I look at her face. And so as we're getting in the car, I said, what's the matter? She's like, Dad, I'm going to be 7 years old, and you can't give me a kiss no more. And I said, first of all, you're not 7 years old, you're 6 years old. And second of all, I can do what the fuck. No. I didn't tell her that. All I told her was, okay, And because we're in this together, right? So I get it. And I say that is because, and right now with everything going on, drugs or rapid violence is just beyond. It's so much stuff going on. Is we need to be in this together. And the other day I was driving home and I was thinking about community. And it was just to give you a little bit of understanding. It was the other day and I was in the office, and there was a man down the street, and he had overdosed. And the police officer was right there. And the police officer said, does anyone have a Narcan? Does anybody have a Narc? He didn't have no Narcan. And Homeboy, one of the homegirls, they see him, they say, you need a Narcan? He's like, yeah. So she runs back over here, we need Narcan. So we get the Narcan and we go back over there. And by the time we get there, there's a lady there, and she's trying to help out. She just pulls her car over, it's in the middle of the street. And the lady, she's trying to help out, pump his chest, and then we come, and we're doing our best to try to bring him back to life. And long story short, he made it. But what I was tripping off of when I was driving home, I was thinking, had the police officer just waited for the ambulance to come and never said anything, he would have died. Or had that lady not pulled up and stopped in the middle of the street, and in her mind think, this has nothing to do with me, he would have died. Mm-hmm. Had the homegirl who was going home from work just thought, he's not one of ours, I gotta get home, he would have died. But it takes community. It takes all of us. And that's what this place is about. It's about all of us. It's every time we walk through the door, you don't know the hope you're giving to somebody else. And the hope that we give is in connection. We all have a fire inside of us. And we can give it to each other. And I could light your fire, you can light my fire, and that fire is hope. And how do you give that hope? It's connecting with one another. It's I see you, you see me. And today I might be down and you might be good. And tomorrow I might be down and you might be good. But we turn around and we connect and we give each other that hope. And so my thought of the day today is have that mindset that we are all in this together. And they think about that, and when you talk about love is action, right? But love is also a lens. It's how we look at things. And if we choose to look at things different, we'll respond differently. It didn't matter if that man was hopeless. It didn't matter if that man was homeless, hopeless, if he was a drug addict, if he was a gang member, or whatever his race is. None of that mattered. All that mattered, he was a human being. And he deserved life, just like we all do. And so the thing I would tell you this is that man who was sitting in the bus stop, and he's sitting there, and it's late, it's hot, these kids are just jumping around, yelling and screaming, and he's sitting there and he's looking at the dad, and the dad, he got his head down, and he's just looking, he keeps looking at the time, it's getting later and later and later, the bus is not getting there, it's getting hotter and hotter in there, and the kids are just yelling and fighting, and the guy's just not doing nothing. Finally, the man couldn't take it no more, and he jumps up, he says, man, can't you control your kids? And the man looks at him and says, I'm sorry, their mother died just last night, and I don't have it in my heart to discipline them right now. And the man said, I'm sorry to hear that, and he sits back down. Well, the bus was still late, it was still hot, and the kids were still screaming. The only thing that changed was him, because he chose to look at it different. So today, let's look at things different, right? All right. With that,